am in terms of work and everything. Get familiar with the chat while I do this real quick. And this is going to be really good. This is going to change your life. And the reason it is because that's kind of what the goal is every time I put something together. If I can't figure out how it's going to change your life in a major way or have a huge impact on you, then I'm usually not going to talk about it. This is something that changed my life, and I believe it's something that can change yours too. So it looks like my video went out for. So give me a sec. I'll bring that back up. And also, if you haven't joined the Black Business School, if you haven't taken a look, I really encourage you to join the Black Business School, because the Black Business School, we're kind of like the underground railroad of Black business and economic education, meaning that, a lot of universities are federally funded by the government. We don't have any government funding. We do not accept money from the government because we don't want those kinds of issues. Most universities will die if Donald Trump decides to pull the plug. So what I did was I plucked out a bunch of leading top-notch Black professors and lawyers and doctors and business people and experts and people that teach college students. And I said, we got to build our own. We got to have our own space to educate our own people. And this was not my idea. I was not the first person to come up with this. This was something that was actually done with Simmons College of Kentucky, which is run by Dr. Kevin Cosby. And basically, Simmons College, there were a bunch of former slaves who basically said, we cannot wait around for white folks to educate our children. In fact, even if they offer to do it, we shouldn't accept it. Even if they offer to do it, even if they offer our kids a top-notch education, even if they offer our children the chance to go to school for free. You know what? A dope dealer will offer you all kinds of crack and heroin and meth and crystal meth for free. He'll give you any kind of dope for free. So because once you get hooked on it, he controls you in every way, right? So they basically said, even if white folks come along and offer us free education, we don't want that education because that education is inferior education. Why is it inferior? Well, it's because if you are Black and you're being educated by the people that have oppressed you, all they can really do is teach you how to survive under the conditions of your oppression. All they're going to do is they're going to show you the methods they understand, not the methods that are actually going to help you overcome the oppression that you face, right? So it's almost like with Black people, the reason that if you ever wonder why these politicians never pursue a Black agenda, it's because pursuit of the Black agenda is in many cases in direct contradiction to the pursuit of the white supremacist agenda. Well, it's definitely in direct contribution, not contribution. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say. It's in contradiction. That's the word I'm looking for, not contribution, contradiction. And so anyway, that's why we created the Black Business School. We really believe that Black people should be educating Black people. And I see Socratic says, just join your Patreon. I appreciate it. He's referring to the League of Intelligent Black People. The League of Intelligent Black People is basically a group that we put together where we give you lots of free access, lots of free educational materials, lots of free content, lots of exclusive stuff that's better than what you get anywhere else. And we ask you to help us support Black media to spread Black intelligence throughout the world. We believe that Black economic empowerment and Black educational excellence should be the two leading gospels of the 21st century for Black people. So in so many ways, I'm probably like a preacher. And why am I a preacher? Well, because that's what I'm preaching. I preach Black economic empowerment, and I preach Black excellence in everything that we do, particularly when it comes to education. In fact, if you ever wanted to see the whole Black community transform in about 5 years, if we simply had our kids put as much energy into educational excellence and economic empowerment as we put into sports and entertainment, in one generation or less, half a generation, we would literally flip the script on the whole entire world. We would literally go from being last place to being in first place. We would go from being, I don't know, the old Cleveland Browns to the New England Patriots, right, or whatever. Or we would literally start leading the league in terms of success, in terms of positive outcomes, in terms of power, in terms of extreme capability. And I believe that we have that in us. At least I know you have it in you. Not everybody has it. Maybe some people just aren't ready. Maybe some people are too afraid of change. That's one big thing that holds Black folks back, is that we are by nature a very conservative group of people. Well, where did that come from? That came from slavery, because in slavery you couldn't be too radical. If you're radical, you got killed. So we became very conservative. Like, oh no, don't go over there with them Negroes over there, or them Negroes over there. They're gonna mess it up for everybody. They're gonna make master mad. You know, don't. That Negro. Why do we don't have to vote? Wait, that's a disgrace. That Negro's a disgrace. He gonna make master mad at us. He gonna get all of us fired. What you talking about, boy? Right. So that's kind of what you get. That's what, that comes from our conservative, very scared tradition, where we're not. It's not so much a matter of believing that all the old ideas are wrong. It's a matter of having a fear of trying new ideas. We have an extreme fear of trying new things, and that's what holds us back. One of the reasons that white men have been able to have so much power throughout the world, and I'm talking about legitimate power, not stuff that they just stole and raped and killed for. I'm talking about, where they've come up with business innovations that have literally spread throughout the globe, is because they're constantly pushing for innovation. They're constantly pushing for innovation. Where's our innovation in our community? Our community should not be identical in the year 2018 to what it was in 1998. And in a lot of ways we are. In a lot of ways, we're still doing the same stuff, trying the same methods, using the same systems, and getting the same results. I don't believe in that. I believe innovation is the key to success. In fact, innovation is how you win wars. When I was watching a 12-hour documentary about World War II, I came to my brother and I said, I think I figured out how you win battles. And he said, what is that? I said, I came up with a philosophy. I called it the 4I philosophy. And I'm gonna see if I can remember what it is, because I literally didn't plan on talking about it today. But I think it was like information, innovation, and infinite industrialization. Information, innovation, and infinite industrialization. I said, if you look at World War II is all about information. Who had the information, right? Did we know how to crack the Germans, secret Enigma code in order to know what their next battle plan was? Who knew what the other side was going to do? Who had the best spies, right? Information is important. And the reason we lose the battle to the white man in many cases is because we don't have information, because he locks it all in a book. And we believe that reading is blasphemous. We believe reading is bad. We got people in our community who ain't tried to read a book since 1982. Who ain't read a book since their teacher made them read Mary Had a Little Lamb in the 2nd grade. So when you're not reading, you're not getting information, which means you're ultimately going to lose the battle. Give me 1 second here. Let me tell our people on text message that we're live, so they can come join us. If you want to get a text notification that when I go live at Dr. Boyce TV, text the word Boyce to 31996. Text my name, BOYCE, to 31996. So some of y'all who are already on the list, you probably just got a text message, or you're gonna get one in about 10-15 seconds. So I want them to know that we're live right now. So text the word Boyce to 31996. So information is important in winning battles. Innovation was important in World War II, because the sides that were able to have the best inventions fastest were able to actually win the battles, because it was a life or death situation. For example, the Allies, the Americans, had to figure out how to extend their radar system so they could see the German planes from a further distance, so they would know when the raids were coming. So they literally were rushing to figure out how to expand their radar systems. When they did that, it gave them a huge advantage that the Germans didn't have. So that allowed them to get an edge in the war. Well, innovation means, new ideas. We were just talking about this, right? If you don't have new ideas constantly being pushed to the forefront, then you're not going to win. The Black community doesn't get new ideas pushed to the forefront because in many cases we get old leaders who don't want to share power. In many cases, we get old leaders who don't want to listen to women. Y'all know the sexism is a big problem in our community. Don't lie, don't pretend. How come there aren't any Black women who have the same prominence of a Jesse Jackson, or the same prominence as a Al Sharpton or Louis Farrakhan or anybody else like that, right? These are great people. God bless them for what they've contributed, but we need some women in the mix too. And I'm sure that hopefully these individuals would agree with me. I know all three of them, and I believe that if I said this, then they would agree. The question is, are we going to go ahead and implement that? so we're not getting innovation because we're not listening to young people, we're not listening to women, we're not listening to people who are not part of the civil rights generation. I mentioned John Conyers yesterday. I didn't mean to say John Conyers, I meant to say John Lewis. John Lewis is a guy that made a lot of contributions during the civil rights movement, using a method that was appropriate at the time, that at least achieved the goal of giving black people the ability to go sit at lunch counters next to white people and give white folks all of our money. That's great. That's cool. I appreciate his sacrifice. I believe that he was sincere about it, but he's not a leader anymore. He's not a person that many black people respect. He just sits up there, looking like a turtle, just going along and buck dancing for whatever white person's paying his bills, and it's not helping anybody anymore. He's got to get off. He's got to get out of the driver's seat and let somebody else drive the car. I don't want to drive the car because I don't want to be a politician. I told you, I think politics is a dead end solution for black people that really want to implement change. Why? Well, because it's driven too much by money and it's driven too much by white people. So in order to be a black politician that gets enough votes in order to win, because you've allowed illegal immigration and everything else to dilute your vote. You remember back 100 years ago, black people outnumbered Hispanics 90-1. There were 100,000 Hispanics at the turn of the century, 9 million black people. So our vote meant a lot. We could actually take over a political agenda for somebody in an elected office. But now we're outnumbered by the Latino community. And so because we kept supporting, open borders, illegal immigration, legal immigration, we're like, everybody just come on in, come on in, come on in. The problem is now your vote's so diluted that you can't really be a politician and pursue a strong black agenda without striking the ire of all the people who are not black. Because black people are pariahs, the people that support these politicians, including your black ones like your Cory Bookers and et cetera, the people that support these politicians and get them in power are going to be offended by them helping black people. Just the idea of helping black people is offensive to many, many people, right? So ultimately, you can't pursue a strong black agenda. And I ain't even talked about the money. The money drives all of this. And black folks don't right now have the resources allocated to control politics through our economics. We have a pathway to get there, but we're not there yet, right? So ultimately, politics, I don't think formal political office is the way for black people to implement meaningful change that will have a direct and powerful impact on the black community. If I had a choice between being Barack Obama, president of the United States, where I can't do hardly nothing for black folks without getting in trouble with the people who pay my bills, versus say being a black man who runs an organization where we raise $5 million or $10 million, and that money is going directly into the black community to creatively and innovatively solve important problems in the black community, you could do have more of an impact on the black problem that way than you could by being president of the United States, where all your power is so diluted that it doesn't matter. So it's almost like having a big jug of very diluted Kool-Aid versus having a little glass where it's real pure, where every sip tastes delicious. Whereas you got a big jug where you dropped an ounce of Kool-Aid in it and 50 gallons of water, versus a little tiny glass where it's all concentrated, right? So we need concentrated power in the black community, not diluted power. Diluted power is what keeps us behind. That's what keeps us powerless. That's why we get confused when some black person gets some lofty, important position and they can't do anything for black people. Don't blame them. Don't wait for them. Just solve the problem yourself. In fact, if I tomorrow could get 20 athletes, 50 athletes to come together and put together a fund of $20 million, that I could be one of the directors on this fund, full accountability, full transparency. You can look at the books, you can watch where every penny goes. With $10 million or $20 million, whatever, I could probably do more in the black community than anybody in the history of this country. And I'm not kidding. I could do more for the black community than anybody in the history of this country with a $20 million fund if I could get enough people to back something like that up. And again, I'm not even asking for that money. We've got a little bit of money. We already do a ton with the money that we have. But if I had, say again, just a bunch of athletes pull together some money and make it, not even make it a donation, make it an investment. Literally an investment fund where literally the money will grow. So you'll make money from this, right? So we pull together $20 million. We could get started on a chain of the best black schools in the history of this country. I know the educators who can pull this off. I know the experts who can do this. We would literally have the chain of the best schools in the country. We could incubate thousands of black businesses and train thousands of black people on business, financial literacy, all the principles that I teach you guys in the Black Business School. We could create media foundations that would allow us to reach 10, 20, 30 million black people very quickly to spread important messages of information and empowerment to our community, we could do these things. So again, so every time I see Floyd Mayweather go out and buy and spend $5 million on, on a necklace, I start thinking, wow, that $5 million really could have been could have become $50 million worth of impact on the Black community. When I see that rapper Offset, Cardi B's husband, I saw that he was bragging about how he spent $100,000 on a chain, probably from a white jeweler, right? $100,000 on a chain. I thought, man, there's so many amazing things you could do with that $100,000. But unfortunately, when you put money in the hands of blind people, they're going to do blind people stuff. They're going to walk right into the wall, right? They're not going to do anything beneficial or impactful for Black folks. So anyway, hit the thumbs up button if you're on YouTube, and those of you who came in into the webinar. Some of you are in the center, in the core of this, who are part of the League of Intelligent Black People. I'm going to get to you guys in a second and let you guys get your questions ready. Put your questions in the Q&A section, and I will answer your questions. I will answer every single one of them. And if I have time, I'll actually bring you in because I see you in here, Sharice and Sean and Edmund and who else is here? Let me see. I see Akili and Angela Green and Angela Berman and Antoinette. And I see Lorena and LG. Oh, LG Stylo, that's not a name. Marilyn, Mario, Michael, Roderick, Sean, Shawana. Okay, so a lot of y'all came in here today. Good, good, good. If you want to join the League of Intelligent Black People, where you can actually come in and talk to me directly during the conversations, go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. Okay, so let me go ahead and just I pulled up some slides actually because I wanted to really make this point. At this point, I listen to God every day. And what I mean by that is, God to me is the universe, whatever it is that's in the universe that gives us our subconscious mind, that gives us the knowledge that we are supposed to embark and share with other people, whatever it is that makes us unique, special, and human. I tap into that. I tap more into my instincts than I tap into actual logic and intellect all the time. I am logical. I'm a logical person, but I believe that, if you really are into what you're doing, you should be into it, not just from a logical standpoint, but also emotionally as well. So a lot of my intellect is emotionally driven because I really am in love with what I do. I'm in love with you. I'm in love with this struggle. I'm in love with this opportunity we have to make a difference in our community that's going to last for the next 20 or 30 generations. Like, I'm in love with this, and every night I dream about it, and ideas come to me. And so this literally came to me when I woke up in bed. I got down to Florida. We drove the family all the way down to Orlando, and they think, just so you know, they all think I'm a weirdo, I'm sure, but that's what I do. I get up and I'm like, we got to do this. We got to do this right now. And so in a way, maybe I'm a little bit like an intellectual version of Tupac. Tupac used to do that. He would just get up and go to the studio and just write all these songs, and then he would be rapping the song 20 minutes later. Yo, I did the better, just doing right, dear mama, right? And it's like it would just come because it was like literally like coming from God. What we call God, but it's really just sort of this mixture of these universal powers that we're all given as human beings. And I want to encourage you to tap into that power, but you got to be open. You got to be willing to fall in love, and falling in love means you got to be willing to fall in love with yourself. You got to be willing to fall in love with your people. You got to be willing to fall in love with your struggle. You got to be willing to fall in love with your situation. You got to fall in love with your dreams. You got to fall in love with your potential. You got to fall in love with your possibilities. And that love is what will drive you, because love is the most powerful force in the universe. So every day I get up and I do this. This is what you hear in my voice is love. This is love, and it's seamless, and it feels so good. So anyway, let me keep going. So here's the thing. These are some secrets to extreme success that they would never teach you in school. Okay. So why did I put this together? And here's why. First of all, when I explain why I put this together, how this works. And if you want to see the slides, if you're watching from YouTube, you won't see the slides. I'm not YouTube, I'm sorry. Facebook, you won't see the slides. You can only see them if you're on YouTube or if you're actually inside the webinar. So if you want to go to YouTube, go to drboycetv.com. That's drboycetv.com. Shonda, I see you raised your hand. Let me know, guys, if you can see these slides. If you cannot see the slides, then make comments and say, I cannot see the slides. If you're on Facebook, I know you can't see them because you have to be on drboycetv.com. But if you're anywhere else and you can't see the slides, let me know. I think she wants to say goodbye. You want to give me a kiss, don't you?
I don't have
Come here, give me a kiss. We got to celebrate Black love every day. Watch me give a kiss. Come here.
All right, I'll see you. Okay.
Right. Uh-oh. Wait. Hold on. I think my default microphone. Wait a second here.
Have a good one.
Okay. All right, babe. I'll see you soon. Okay. So, you know, see me. Hold on. Let me turn my. There we go. My camera went out for a second. Something is going on here. Let me make sure everything's plugged in because it keeps going in and out, and I don't know why. Hold on. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're cooking with gas. The pic video went out when y'all kissed. Oh, did it? Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. That's because this was PG-13. Mind your own damn business. Anyway, I'm playing. All right, here we go. Okay, so here's why the standard methods of success don't work for you. If they don't work, or here's why they don't work for a lot of people. I'm not gonna say they don't work for you, but I'm gonna say they don't work for a lot of people, and I can kind of explain why. Number one, the first reason that came to mind is you're black. You're black. In case you didn't know it, in case nobody told you, let me be the first one to let you know that you're black and you're not white. And that's important for you to understand because a lot of what you think about when you talk about like what it means to be successful, how to be successful, what processes should be successful, what education should actually work. Most of that was given to you by white people. I mean, think about this. Like, why do we think it's important to go to Harvard versus the University of Texas? Well, because white people told us that, right? I mean, we learned that from them, or maybe a black person told us, but a white person told him, right? And or why do we think it's better to work for IBM or Google versus working for Walmart? Well, because that's kind of what we were told, right? And so ultimately, a lot of the methods of success that we get are not designed uniquely for black people to solve black problems and to figure out how to overcome these, the issues that we face individually as black people. So a lot of the reason, I'll give you one example of a method of success that isn't working right now. It's the whole like go to school, go deep in debt, and then get a good job one day, and that'll make everything better. That model doesn't work. Lots of black college graduates are actually taking their family wealth and moving it backwards this generation. A lot of black families that they have first generation college students actually are worse off financially than they would have been if they had not gone to college at all. So what does that mean? Does that mean college is a bad thing? No, it doesn't. It just means that they're going about it the wrong way. But unfortunately, because somebody, why did that kid end up going to that university? Well, because some white guidance counselor said this is the way to success. This is how you get out of the hood. Or maybe they went to one of these for-profit universities. I see that happen a lot. Young people in the hood don't have anybody in their family that ever went to college, and a for-profit university comes along and says, our school is $30,000 a year, but don't worry, all you gotta do is sign here, and it'll be totally, it won't cost you a thing right now. And then you'll be a nurse or whatever, or a nurse's aide, and you'll be able to make a lot more money. So they sign the document, they end up with $40,000 in debt, and then even worse, they don't finish. Or if they do finish, they can't get the job that they were promised. And so they end up with all this debt. I can't tell you how many people I know who literally have about $50,000 in debt and don't even have a college degree. I know so many people. I mean, it's bad enough when you got 50,000 in debt and you got the degree. Even then, the odds are against you being able to pay that in your lifetime. Unfortunately, I mean, just looking at the data, the statistics. But I know people that have that much debt who ain't even got a degree. I mean that's pretty scary. So the second reason that your methods of success don't work is because America is really fucked up. America is a fucked up country in a lot of ways. We're supposed to be the greatest country in the world. We're supposed to have all this American exceptionalism. But if you look at our healthcare system, I think we're right behind Costa Rica in terms of healthcare. You look at our education, we're not even in the top 10 in the world in education. We're sinking every year. Our educational system is complete total garbage. So what would make you think that system can actually produce success for you? It can't. That system is broken. And the thing about it is that not only is the educational system broken, but the system that fixes the educational system is broken. So the system itself is broken, and the system that's supposed to fix that system, that's a broken system. There's nothing more dysfunctional in America that I can think of than our damn political system. We got these congressmen that will spend 6 months arguing over whether boys or girls should be allowed to use the girls' bathroom or whatever, but they won't spend any time talking about the country's eroding infrastructure. They don't talk about this horrific national debt that's going to lead us into an economic crisis like you can't imagine. They don't talk about the urban violence where you got dozens of people getting murdered in Chicago all at the same time and nobody has a word to say about it, but they're going to sit around and argue all day about a damn fucking, excuse my French, immigrant caravan or some shit. I don't care about no immigrant caravan. I'm thinking about the caravan of dead bodies that we're gonna have to pick up in Chicago after another killing spree is taking place that the police have the inability to stop. Like, I'm thinking about the caravan of uneducated kids we got in our community who reach the age of 18 and can't even read. I'm thinking about the caravan of black men and women that are sitting up in prison for non-violent drug offenses back in the 1990s when Bill Clinton implemented his Holocaust level mass incarceration agenda. That's what I'm thinking about. That's the caravan I'm thinking about. I ain't tripping over nothing about this immigration stuff. That really is not that big of a deal on my agenda. So anyway, let me keep going. Standardized methods don't typically lead to unique outcomes. You can't do something the way everybody else does it and then expect a result that's going to be different from what everybody else is getting. Like, think about that. I mean, how crazy is that to think that you can follow a standard process and get a non-standard outcome? You know, standardized education and all this stuff is almost like McDonald's, eating McDonald's every day. McDonald's is an excellent company in the sense that they've mastered the art of standardization. Every cheeseburger weighs exactly the same. They all have the exact same amount of cheese. They all get exactly X number of ounces of ketchup, X number of ounces of onions, right? It's 2 pickles, whatever it is, right? They have a process. They have it in the manual. Every cheeseburger gets this much beef, this much cheese, this many onions, this much ketchup, right? And they can, in that way, they can replicate the process 10 million times. That's how they can say over 4 billion served or whatever, right? Well, you know, if you're eating McDonald's every day, then, you know, you're not going to have the same health effects in your body of somebody who's eating a specialized diet that's optimized for them to have perfect health or to prepare them for the Olympics, right? An Olympic athlete, a person who wants to achieve extreme results, does not go eat at McDonald's every day. They don't eat anything every day that's standardized. Every day they're thinking about, okay, well, today I'm going to eat some root rot with some egg yolk mixed in with some chia seeds, so I can get my protein mixed with my vitamin D and my carbohydrates. Right? That's what they're doing. Right? They specialize, right? So success must require a specialized plan, not a standardized plan. Do you follow what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to stop this share for a minute, and I want you all to let me know if you are able to see me, see the video, or see everything okay. Give me a yes if you're able to see everything okay. And I like to click around because I got real, I got real self-conscious after one time I did a lecture and I didn't even know it, but the video had gone out or something like very early, and I was running my mouth the whole time and nobody was seeing anything. Okay, here we go. All right, good. All right, so let's keep going then. All right, so moving on. Hold on. Okay, come on. There we go. So the first rule of achieving extreme success that they will never teach you in school is you should question everything. Question everything. Question everything. Just the same way somebody who is training for the Olympics will question every ounce of food that goes in their body. You should question every piece of information that goes into your head. You should question everything I say. You know, just ask yourself, does this make sense to me? Do some research. You know, is there any research supporting this? Or, boys, what is your logic here? You just said some real crazy stuff. Like what is it that leads you to believe that you know, that this political strategy might work, or that this wealth building strategy is actually possible? I mean, you got to question everything. I'll tell you what. You know, I remember when I was in grad school, and I had a friend who was she was a divorcee, right? Check it out. So now she was a weirdo. She was a very weird person, and very pretty, but very, very weird. And I was curious to see, like, what kind of weird person would marry a weird woman like this. And so I asked her, and you know, because the other thing was she had a divorce. Like, the divorce was very messy, it was very ugly. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking, yeah, it probably wasn't an ugly divorce because you're so strange. I don't know what kind of normal person would marry you. But I asked her, I said, when'd you get married? She said, when I was 22. I said, oh, so right after college? And she said, yeah. I said, so what made you get married right out of college? I said, I thought about it. I didn't really think that was the right time to get married. And most of my friends that got married out of college are now divorced. I said, so what made you get married right out of college? And you know what she said? I kid you not. She said, I don't know. It just seemed like that was the next thing I was supposed to do. And I thought about that, and I said, okay, and that's why, that's why you went through the misery of a divorce. Because I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with getting married at any age. My parents got married at 22, and they've been married for 44 years. But you don't get married, you don't make you don't take such an important step without thinking it through very carefully, without doing your homework. You see, a lot of young people, especially, I watch this with a lot of young people. They do a lot of things. They make a lot of major life decisions without even wondering why this is the best decision for them. They do it because everybody else is doing it. Like, oh, I had a baby because everybody else is having a baby, or I took this job because I needed money, and that was the job paying me the most money at that time. And then 20 years later, you've dedicated 20 years of your life to this job. Years later, so literally a chunk of your life has been dedicated to this job, and you only took the job because they were going to pay you $15 an hour, and the other job was only going to pay you $13.50 an hour. I mean, really, really, you got to question everything. There's nothing wrong with questioning everything. The reason they don't teach you this in school is because schools they reward you for good behavior. Schools are prisons. Schools are basically educational prisons. Especially in our hood, they even got the metal detectors and the security guards and the handcuffs to go with it, right? Schools are educational prisons because basically their goal is to just control the inmates, just manage the inmates. And so what happens is you reward the inmates in these public schools for simply sitting down and shutting up and being quiet. You're more likely to get good grades if you are a dumb kid who's well behaved than you are if you're a smart kid who is asking too many questions. I remember going through that where I would ask a lot of questions. My hand would go up and up and up. And this even happened in college. I remember I had a confrontation with a business teacher because she got mad because I kept asking questions and I kept answering all the questions because I was so eager and I'd read everything and I knew, and and so basically schools don't want everybody questioning everything, because the goal is to get you indoctrinated into a system so that you'll fit into other systems later on in life. Almost like, a kid goes through the orphanage, he goes through that system, then he gets ready for the prison system or whatever the next system is for him, right? So the same thing is true for you when you're in school. You either go into the economic system or you go into the prison system or whatever, but you're sort of going through one system to prepare for another system. So questioning the system doesn't work. Maybe your next system is the military. They show as hell don't want you asking a lot of questions if you're in the military. God bless the soldiers, though. I'm not saying that I ain't got no. I love the soldiers that are part of what we do, and thank you for your service. I always say that every time I mention soldiers, I thank them for their service, because everybody out here criticizing the soldiers, ain't none of y'all got enough bravery to go out here and take a damn bullet to defend the freedoms that we have in this country. So let's just keep it real quick, okay? So anyway. But at the same time, we know that questioning systems doesn't go very far. It's more likely to get you labeled as a bad apple, especially if you're black. If you're black, you're asking too many questions. A lot of systems will spit you out, and it can kind of become a mess. But if you want to be extremely successful, asking lots of questions leads you to unique conclusions and unique outcomes. Now, I made fun of my friend a minute ago for being a weirdo, but I'm a weirdo too. I'm very, very strange. I see things in ways that almost nobody around me sees. At least once a day, I say something that makes other people look at me like I'm crazy. Well, why is that? Well, because I've questioned everything. I'm like, well, why do we do that? When I was in college, I'd be like, why do you feel like you got to go out and you have to go party every Saturday night at 10 o'clock? Like, why can't you be at the library at 10 o'clock? It seems like being in the library would probably help you get more paper and help you get ahead more than going to the party every Saturday. And then I'm going to the party and I said, y'all not even having fun. Like, you're sleepy, you're bored, you're seeing the same damn people you saw last week. You're getting drunk, doing stuff that you're gonna regret the next day. Like, this is not fun. This is not fun. You got to question everything, but people don't like people who question things. So it's okay to question. The next secret to extreme success: one, break all the rules that don't make any sense. If you question things and you come across a rule that just doesn't make sense for you, then break it. Just drop that shit. Get rid of it. There's an old saying that says, great women are rarely well behaved. The great women are rarely sort of like sit down, shut up, do as you're told type women. Great women are usually women who question things and then they break rules. They say, no, I'm not going to do that because there's no rule saying I have to do that. And I think the same thing applies to men. I think great black people, period, are black people who broke the rules. You had to go through the shame so-called shame of breaking the rule, where you get rejected from the system, you lose your good nigga sticker. That's what's going to happen. You start breaking rules and you're black, you're going to lose your good nigga sticker. So just get ready for that right now. But then you suddenly are confronted with this new reality, and where you can either look at the downside of it, like, oh my God, my life is terrible because white people don't want me no more. Or you can look at the upside and say, wow, this is great. White people don't want me no more, so I ain't got nobody to impress. I'm just gonna go out here and just be free. I'm gonna go out here and live my life as a free black person. That's the trade-off, right? So I believe in breaking all rules that don't make any sense. I remember when I was let's see, somebody said, do I curse in this fashion at college? I don't know what that means. That's like that's a kind of that sentence is a little broken off, but do I curse in this fashion at college? Did I curse like this in college? Yes, I did. My father, cussed like a sailor. Do I cuss when I'm teaching in the Black business school? Typically not, but sometimes it ekes out. Again, breaking all the rules also requires you to be okay with yourself, like to just be okay with the backlash you're going to get. I get a lot of backlash. And people ask, well, how do you deal with that? I'm like, well, I don't even see it usually, because if you send me a message and you're sounding all stupid and crazy and like you don't like what I'm saying or whatever, I'm very, very happy to tell you to leave. Like, I'm very happy to say, this is not for you. I think you should go do something else. Go hang out with some, there's a million people out here, online, everywhere else that you can go pay attention to. You don't have to really be here. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I say that because I don't want to make you uncomfortable by you having to listen to a potty mouth black man who says all these things that you don't agree with or understand. And I'm not going to be mean to myself by forcing myself to be something that I'm not. So breaking the rules does lead to a stigma, but the great thing about it is that it also leads to freedom. So I remember when I was little, I remember when I was a kid, this goes to kind of how breaking the rules, and acting different in school will get you in trouble as opposed to being rewarded. When I was 5 years old, my kindergarten teacher had a conversation with my mother, and she said, your son was at school and he was acting up. He would get up, he would sit down, get up, sit down. He was singing, walking around the room, disrupting the other kids, all this other stuff, and it drove me crazy. So she said I was going to teach him a lesson. She said, I just let him get up and sit down and walk around and act a fool and all that. And I just kept teaching. And then I was going to asked him like to tell me everything that I had just taught, all the other students, so that he would be embarrassed. And she said, he repeated everything back to me that I had just taught all the kids. And she said, I was astonished by this. So what my mother said or what the lady said to my mother, it was a white lady who said this. She said, when your son gets to elementary school, they're going to try to put him on medication so that he'll sit down and shut up and be quiet. She said, you do not let them put your child on drugs. She said, your child, it behaves like this because that's who he is, but he is not stupid. But he's going to always kind of be a kid that kind of acts up a little bit, and you're going to have to find ways to channel that energy. So my mother would put me in a lot of programs and a lot of like sports and just stuff that would allow that energy to kind of come out, because she knew that my mouth would always get me in trouble. She used to say when I was little, she said, boy, your mouth will either make you great or get you killed. I'm curious to see which one. And so that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed. And some of y'all have kids like that who just want to ask questions, who want to think different, who want to try something different. And sometimes you got to teach them to kind of rein it in a little bit, like kind of, like understand the environment that they're in. There's a time and a place for everything. But at the same time, when we suppress that, we're literally killing their greatness in many cases. We're literally taking somebody who could have went out and really changed the world, and we're forcing the square peg into the round hole and forcing them to be something that they're not. So what happens is they end up spending their lives miserable and not even coming close to reaching their potential. Also, they end up awkwardly fitting into systems that are pre-designed for other people. And so that awkwardness, it weighs on your soul. When I was trying to fit in and trying to become, like this white man in black skin that I needed to be in order to fit into academia, for example, it wasn't fun for me. I was like, God, I have so many great things I want to say, so many great ideas, so many things I want to share, but I feel like I can't share these things because there'll be a backlash. There'll be a consequence for that. Okay, so anyway, let's keep going. The next thing is, once you question everything and you, and you break the rules, you're going to be in this space where you're suddenly free. Maybe you get the great fortune of being rejected from the systems you're in. Maybe you get lucky enough to get fired from your job, or or lucky enough to have all your friends abandon you because you don't fit in. Like in Chicago, like I'm technically, I guess, because I'm famous and stuff, I'm supposed to fit in with the bougie Negroes in Chicago. I've been invited in with the black elites, the ones who run Ebony and Jet magazine, and the billionaire millionaire types. I've met these people, and the Michelle and Barack Obama. I live 2 blocks from Barack Obama, right? So I've been invited into these elite spaces, but it didn't take long for them to realize that I wasn't a fit for those spaces. So the good thing is that when you're sort of spit out, you then have this space where you're all by yourself, but you're free. You're free to make the world into what you want it to be. And so one of the things that really helped me a lot is that, I said, okay, let's burn the earth down and let's build from the ground up and build it the way it's supposed to be built. So for example, when I left, standard academia and white universities, I was like, okay, I'm out of here. This is good. I've spent 13 years in that system. I learned their secrets. Now I'm out. Now let's rebuild something like for example, the Black Business School in a way that education should be built. There's no restraints on, on customs and traditions and the way things have been done before. It's all a matter of building up exactly the way it needs to be built to solve specific problems that matter to the people I care about, which were Black people, right? And so basically in your own life, once you get kind of popped out, you get freedom. You have this amazing freedom to be extraordinary. In fact, I've only had one conversation with Tyler Perry. I only talked to him one time. He called me because he had saw me on CNN talking about him, and I guess he felt compelled to talk about what he saw and that he was actually happy, because I didn't. The thing is, I don't watch Tyler Perry movies. I'm not gonna lie. I can't. My brain would probably fall out of my ear if I watch too many Tyler Perry movies. I can't. It's too much. It's too much. I ain't gonna lie. Love you, Tyler, man, but some of that stuff, even some of that stuff is coonery. That's why you're killing off Madea. You need to kill off Madea because that's some bullshit. But at the same time, I think that there's a balance, right? I don't think Tyler Perry is a guy who is out here really harming people, and he's trying to help people in the way that he knows how. He is creating jobs. He's out here in Hollywood doing it. He's making his money independently for the most part. And also, his logic for Madea is that he feels that comedy is a way to help people who won't go to therapy, right? To get into their souls and get them to think about things that they might not sit and talk to a therapist about. Now, again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what he said. But here's the thing that was interesting, though. One thing that came up was we talked about Spike Lee's criticism of him, right? And I agree with Spike too. I mean, I think Spike had a legitimate critique, and I saw what Tyler was saying. And one thing that he said about his success as a filmmaker, though, that I actually pointed out to him, I said, this is what makes you good at what you do at producing the types of movies that you produce and the way you produce them. Because again, say what you want about Tyler, but not many people can start with literally Chitlin Circuit stuff, selling DVDs out the back of your trunk to making over 100 million. You can learn from that model. That's like a Tariq Nasheed model on steroids. What Tariq did with Hidden Colors was amazing, but what Tyler did, financially is pretty powerful too. And so anyway, he said, I didn't go to film school. I didn't go to Juilliard and all these specialized places that these other filmmakers go to. And I said, exactly. I think that's exactly what makes you good at what you do. I said, because you were not constrained by other people's way of doing things. You figured it out as you went along and solved the problems as they came up in very unique ways that led to very unique outcomes. Again, whether you like Tyler Perry movies or not, that's not the point. But you cannot disagree that he did not have a unique outcome in terms of how far his movies have gone, how much money he's made, how much success he's had. So ultimately, when you build your own systems, you really have an opportunity to do something nobody else has ever done. If you can get over that initial fear of being detached from the mainstream, like you're out there by yourself and you can't take the beaten path. But a lot of times you'll find that road or dig out a road that will allow you to do things nobody else has ever done. That's what. In fact, I'll give you an example. When I was when I was in school, I used to study really hard. I was a really hard-working PhD student. I'm talking about studying 7 to 10 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, including Christmas, and I did that all through my 20s. And the reason I studied so hard was because I wanted to be a successful Black man in academia. I wanted to teach at a top university. I wanted to win the Nobel Prize. I wanted to publish, in all these research journals and all this other stuff. And then also, of course, make some money and all this, everything else, and be respected for my work. And things didn't quite go that way because, again, because of the whole cultural issue. I didn't know the cultural problem would pop up where just me as a Black man, I don't fit within a lot of those institutions in terms of how I think, my radicalness, the way I present myself, etc. So I had issues with the system. But so what happened was, I remember going through a period of sadness where I was like, gosh, I hate the fact that this is not working out. I'm doing the best I can. I think I'm successful, but they keep telling me I'm not successful, but I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. And so what I did was I was able to build my own systems and processes outside of that, right? That involved measures of success that were more linked to the Black community, that were more directly impactful on the people I cared about, that made more sense to me. And check this out. You won't believe this, but back in the day when I was doing all this, when I first started doing this, I had a lot of friends, a lot of my colleagues in academia, Black professors who literally wouldn't even let people know they had lunch with me because they were too scared to be associated with me, because they felt that being associated with me would get them labeled in a certain way, right? They lose their good nigga sticker, and next thing you know, they'd be getting fired too. And so, but the crazy thing is that later on, once I went out into the world, kind of built my own and did created my own systems and all this other stuff, I became so successful with my own systems that literally those very same people who used to hide from me and didn't want to have people know that they even were associated with me, those people now brag to their students that they know me. They're like, oh yeah, I can call Boyce Watkins. I can get him on the phone. Or the students will be like, oh, you know Dr. Boyce Watkins? Oh my God, right? I have had a chance to do things that that they will never do. I've had a chance to do things I never thought I would do. It's like you grow up dreaming about success at level 10 because all you know is level 10. And then what happens is you get knocked off the level 10 path and get thrown on this new path. And suddenly you got success at level 38. And you didn't even know that level 38 existed. You didn't even know that shit was out there. Like, and that's what God will do, honestly. That's what I believe. I give that tribute to God, the universe, all that. Like sometimes you will get knocked off of the thing that you think you want because you are supposed to have something that is 100 times better, but you were too ignorant to even know that it was even out there. I was too ignorant to even know that there was a room in the world for a loudmouth Black professor to get on YouTube and talk to 1 million Black people a week and travel the world and impact the world and impact hundreds of thousands of Black families. Like, I didn't even know that path even existed. That wasn't in the standard textbook of what professors can do with a PhD in finance. That was not something that was taught to us in school with the standardized models of education that I was exposed to. Why? Well, because these models were created by white people, and and literally solving Black problems and connecting with the Black community wasn't even on their radar. So I was literally getting guidance from people who did not even understand all the pathways that were even available for the little nappy head kid in kindergarten who kept standing up and talking when the teacher was teaching on the board, right? I didn't know that this was out there, right? All I thought that was out there for kids like that was prison, prison, rejection, unemployment, drug addiction, right? That's what I thought was out there for people like me. I did not know that there were brands of success, methods of and models of success that could either be created or that pre-existed that would actually embrace someone who does things the way I do them, right? So that's the key. It's really a lot like love, like, most of us have gone through that where you were deeply in love with somebody and you really wanted that person. And the idea of losing that person was like the worst nightmare that you could ever imagine. You couldn't even fathom not being with that person and moving on with life. Like, you can imagine your life without that person. And then the worst thing in the world happens, right? They dump you. And then you have no choice but to move on and figure it out. And then you move on and you're all sad and depressed. And then finally your friends drag you out and make you go out. And next thing you know, you meet somebody that is so great that you didn't even know somebody like that even existed. Maybe your ex used to get on you because you didn't because you didn't squeeze the toothpaste tube from the bottom, or you left your socks on the floor, and you meet a woman who is who loves the fact that you leave your socks on the floor because she thinks it's the most adorable thing in the world, and she loves picking up your socks because she says it's great. It makes me feel like I'm helping you, right? Whatever it is, or your ex told you were too fat, right? And your booty, you need to work on shrinking your butt because your butt's too big, right? And then you meet a man, your ladies, like you meet a man who's like, I love your ass, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? And that's kind of what it is. I think that happens professionally. I think we grow up madly in love with white people and white supremacist systems. Like we grow up in love with them and we spend our lives seeking approval from these systems, right? That's what we want. That's our dream. That's our desire, right? And then and our worst nightmare is to be rejected from these systems. That's why Black folks, that's why we get on each other. Like what you doing? Why you need to be quiet. You need to learn how to play the game, right? Right. While they sitting there like, down in like one margarita after another because white people done drove them crazy, right? You know what I'm talking about. You ever see a group of people that like will have a really lively and sad conversation, just get together a bunch of like corporate Black people and at a bar or something and have everybody talk about the shit they're putting up with at work, right? The microaggressions that they deal with on the job, right? They'll talk all night, right? And be drinking liquor, the whole bourbon, whatever, the whole time because the stress has like literally like driven them insane, And so anyway, basically we grow up madly in love with white supremacist systems. Our worst nightmare is to be rejected by those systems. And sometimes what you find, though, is that the people who achieve extreme success who are Black are exactly the people who've been rejected by those systems the most. And the Black people who achieve success within those systems are the ones who get very disappointed because the success is not what they thought it was going to be. They're thinking, oh, I always thought that if I became the chairman of the board or the senior vice president, my life would be better. I'd be happy. And then they're like, confused because they're like, man, I'm miserable. Like the racism at the top is damn near as bad as the racism at the bottom. Here I am, me and Michelle up in the White House, and I still can't do shit for Black people. Like I can't even be Black in public. I mean, that's a terrible feeling. So sometimes getting rejected for the thing you want really is God in the universe's way of introducing you to the thing that you should have wanted, but you were not smart enough to know what you really should have wanted because you hadn't been exposed to it. You hadn't been exposed to it. So that's kind of what happened in my life. I was exposed to things that happened professionally that I didn't even know were out there because I was clinging so much onto what I knew, So, but I can tell you, there are at least 50 things I could say that I've done in my life in the last 25 years that I never thought I would do. I never thought I could sit here and casually say I've been on CNN over 300 times. Or 200, I don't know, something like that. I don't know. I've been on Anderson Cooper's show so many times, I can't even count how many. You could literally show me a clip of me on that show, and I would be like, oh yeah, that's right. I think I remember that from 2007. That's weird. I never thought I would be able to say little things like that. I never thought I could say that I've gone to every single continent and made millions of dollars giving speeches and, all kinds. Like I never thought that would be something I could talk about. I never thought I could say that, I've educated, tens of thousands of Black families or hundreds of thousands, or that I could go to countries I've never been to before and have people stop me on the street. Like that was something I didn't even know that was even out there, because if I'd known it was out there, I would have aimed for that from the beginning. I just wanted to be down with white folks. I just wanted them to give me a good job and pay me well and take good care of me. Like, so I'm just telling you that your kids who are a little bit outlandish and a little outrageous and a little bit boisterous and a little bit, maybe they question things or they break the rules a little bit. See if you can find a way to take that energy and apply it in a way that's going to be good for them and good for your family and good for the community. Don't give up on those kids. Okay. So anyway, if you're interested, we actually have a program in the Black Business School on goal setting, motivation, life management, as I call it. It's called Black Keys to Greatness. I just want to show you guys this real quick. And then I'm actually going to answer some of the questions from those of you who are inside from the League of Intelligent Black People. Basically, this program at blackkeystogreatness.com, we talk about secrets to time management. I'm really, really good at time management. I learned that time management is the key to success. And what I do is I break my day into 15-minute intervals. And I'm very, very specific about all the things. I've analyzed all the things that we do in our lives that waste time and keep us from achieving our goals. So time management is important because time is the #1 asset that you actually have to invest. It's more important than money. Next, overcoming obstacles. That's a big one because a lot of us run into obstacles and we either give up or we are emotionally flat to the point where we are traumatized and fearful of trying again. I have methods to kind of overcome that and kind of deal with that. I run into obstacles every single day. Setting goals and accomplishing them, that's extremely important. The ability to focus is actually more important than actually having the skill to accomplish things. I don't really care how talented you are. That doesn't mean anything if you're not focused. If you're not focused, if you're talented, so in fact, sometimes talent can be a curse. A lot of the most talented people I've met are so talented that they want to try to do everything, and when they're trying to do everything, they accomplish nothing, right? So sometimes it's not so good to feel so talented that you think you can just do every single thing that comes in front of you. Sometimes it's best to be modest and say, I'm not that good, so I'm just going to do this one thing. And I guarantee you, if you take two people, one of mediocre talent, one of extraordinary talent, and this person has spent 20,000 hours doing the same thing, and this person has only spent 1,000 hours doing that same thing, this person's going to beat this person badly, right? So so the little things like that, dealing with setbacks, dealing with haters, I think that's really important because as you become more successful, you're gonna have haters, you're gonna have critics, you're gonna have jealous people. But as Malcolm X said, he said, if you have no critics, you will have no success. So in your life, when you do things, when you have the audacity to question things and to go for something other people don't go for, or to break rules and kind of like do like my friend Miss Black Hollywood, hop up out of Louisiana and go to Hollywood, or to pursue your dream or whatever, you're gonna have people that are not gonna be comfortable with that because again, Black people are conservative. So that conservative nature, I think it gives people comfort by making you uncomfortable by being different, right? So if I give you a bunch of shit for being different and kind of make you feel bad, then that maybe makes me feel better about sort of the path that I'm taking, right? Like, so all of us get together and we intervene and we tell you that this is crazy for you to do this. So you become the outlier. And then that sort of makes us feel better about our situation. Or if we reel you back in, it's sort of like we're all stuck in this little cubby hole of failure. And so for some reason that makes us feel better. So a lot of times what people that we might call haters, or people that we might call jealous, or people that we might call critics, sometimes these are actually people that care about you. They claim that they're saying these things because they care about you, when really they're saying these things because they're afraid for themselves. So they're also fearful for you. Fear does not get you anywhere. Fear will keep you in a cage. You do not allow fear to drive your life, or you will have all kinds of regrets. That should be your fear, dying with all the regrets you're going to have if you let fear control everything you do. Next, there's a lot more in the program. The first month is free. I think it's about $59 a month or something like that, but the first month is totally free. You can go to blackkeystogreatness.com. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. So feel free to give it a try. That's one of our programs in the Black Business School. That's one of the many things we do to kind of help you with success. And I designed that because I had a lot of young people asking me all these life questions about, like, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay focused? How do you overcome criticism? Blah, 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 blah. And I mean, I've done all of that. So I literally just wrote an entire book on this topic in a way that can help people. So feel free to give it a try. All right. Okay. So this sister says, great course. So you're already in it. Good. Yeah. If you're already in it, if you already tried it, give some people your honest feedback in terms of how it's helped you, so that other people will kind of know, what the benefits are. Because, we stand by everything that we do. We even give people their money back if they're not happy for any reason. So we do all of that stuff. We're really, customer service is really important in the Black Business School. But with that said, let me go in here and answer some of your questions. Did you put your questions in the Q&A section? And if you actually want to speak and ask the question, if you're inside the webinar, you can. To be inside, you have to be in the League of Intelligent Black People. And that's intelligentblackpeople.com. This is just a little perk for being part of the group and supporting the platform. So let me pull this down. Okay, who's got their hand up and who would like to talk? Okay, I see a lot of names in here. Shonda, okay, I think Shonda wants to talk. Okay, wait, total phone call-in listeners. Okay, no, okay, I'm not really sure if Shonda wants. I think, okay, it looks like your hand's up, Shonda. So I'm gonna allow you to talk, okay, Shonda? So let's see if you want to come in here. Everybody else, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else, make sure you hit the thumbs up button or the subscribe button. Hit them both. Okay, so Shonda, I'm gonna try to see if I can bring Shonda in here. Hey, Shonda. Let me see if I can unmute you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. What city are you in?
I am in Covington, Kentucky, right next to Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh yeah, I drove through. I think I might have drove near Covington. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because I was driving down from Illinois, but I did drive through Kentucky yesterday. But I do know Covington very well because I used to drive to Cincinnati all the time.
Oh yes. Oh yes. So my question is this. I did not vote in the midterm election because there was no Black agenda, period. I was unhappy about it. I held out on my vote. Um, you know, you know, they promise, they tell you that they're gonna give you something and they do nothing. And it's like a um, you know, false hope, no just nothing. They give you nothing. And we have the pastors in the area um, who endorse these politicians, and what happens is that people go to these churches and they dump millions of dollars into these churches, but get nothing back. No one's doing anything, and these politicians and pastors and bishops are making oodles and oodles of money. So what I wanted to do, myself and a couple of other people, we wanted to get together and start our own political party. And hopefully that, other people will jump in with us and support us in that. We're grassroots. We just right now we're just brainstorming. So my question to you is, where do we start?
Yeah. Okay. Well, where I would start is, I can start by telling you how I can help you. If you want to start your Black political party, maybe send over like an outline to manager at boycewatkins.com, and I'll mention the party. If you tell people where they can go to join, I can mention it. I wouldn't say I'm a political scientist expert. I'm a political science expert. I'm not. But Dr. Claude Anderson also, I'll bring him in, and maybe we can have a conversation about how to start a Black political party. But I would definitely start by thinking about what your agenda is. Like, what is your party platform? And also, what is your goal? What is your goal of the political party? In Powernomics, Dr. Anderson talks about Black people coming together and voting as a block, and not necessarily, having a specific candidate that they're running, but kind of saying, doing what labor unions might do and say, if you want our endorsement, you can be Democrat, Republican, or independent, but you have to come to the table giving us something specific that you're going to do for our community to solve, problems that are specific to us. And so I think it's good. I think forming that coalition is a good thing. So when you're ready, just let me know. I'll be happy to help you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right. Absolutely, sister. Take care now. Bye-bye.
You too.
All right. All right. So Shonda did great. Shonda is excellent because Shonda, she did something I asked everybody to do. It's like she kept it real compact, real quick, real good, so I could get to more people. So I appreciate that, those who do that. And I asked you to do that just to be respectful to everybody who's kind of in here. Okay. Somebody was asking. I think Jamal said your stock market class, you said was $3 a day, but you listed as $89 a month. Well, $3 a day over a month is about $89, $90, right? So basically, that's where the $3 a day came from. Okay, so that's why it's three. That's why our programs are $3 a day. So that's the Black Stock Market program. If you guys are interested in joining, so basically, it's a go to any university and tell them I want to take one of your most important financial classes, and I want to give you $3 a day, and see how quickly they laugh at you. But actually, we have a great program, and with leading experts, very top-notch people. My dissertation was on the stock market, and also I taught the stock market at Syracuse University and Indiana University, University of Kentucky. In fact, I probably taught about 15 different finance classes, everything from international finance to investments to corporate finance, all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. We have a lot of range there. All right, Adrian Cutter, I'm bringing you in next. So I'm gonna see if Adrian's available. And actually, okay, it looks like Adrian might be here. Adrian, can you hear me? Okay.
Hey.
Oh, there he is. Okay. All right. Because I was gonna bring in Alan also. Sometimes people come in and we can't hear him. So Alan, I got you on here, but I'm gonna leave you muted and I'll let Adrian ask his question. How can I help you, brother? What city are you in?
Hey, I'm in Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, so you're in Florida like I am. I'm in Orlando. Nice. Good to see you, bro.
All right, I'm gonna keep it quick. I'm trying to go back to school, and I wanted to know, like, what are the benefits of going back as opposed to just focusing solely on like investing.
Do you have a college degree already?
You have a bachelor's,
Okay, what was your bachelor's in?
cardiopulmonary science.
Okay. And so do you have an interesting goal? It sounds very healthcare related. Do you have an interest in being in the healthcare business, or is it kind of done for you?
Not really. I'm trying to go in like more IT,
Okay.
like the IT field.
Okay. And are you looking to like start a business or maybe go work for a company or one of each, or what do you think?
Maybe later on down the line when I get like more training, or get, because I know you don't just jump into business. So
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, I would, I mean, you definitely need more education and more training, right? The question is, what's the most efficient way to get that in terms of time and money, right? And so I can tell you this, I know that on the online, there's a lot of really good tech programs online that are better than college, better than college because you're learning exactly what you need to go and achieve a specific goal for certain companies. Like there's one tech company, one tech school, I forget what it's called, but it's online. It's not that much, like a couple $100s a month, that's backed by Apple and Google and IBM and stuff like that, because they got tired of the universities, putting people in all this debt, teaching them a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with what they need to do on this job. You see what I mean?
right.
So if I were you and I was looking to go into tech, I would definitely put that energy into the training, maybe allocate, just in your mind, whatever free time you have. Just literally, you got 168 hours in a week. You budget your time the way you budget your money. So budget your time. You got to go to work. Budget time to spend with your kids if you got kids. Budget time for leisure, but then budget time for this, and just literally mark it off almost like a time clock to put in, say, 10, 15 hours a week, whatever that number is, to like moving forward in your tech skill and your tech training. And then when you get done, the programs that give you some sort of certification are good because that gives you something you can show to people, when you're either looking for clients or looking for a job. So that's like 3 levels, right? You can get a job for a company, or you could just be an independent contractor and get clients, based on your skill. Just make sure that what you can do is needed and know where to take that skill. Or you can have your own company, eventually at some point as well, which I agree with you. It's probably something that you want to do like a little bit further down the line, but I think that could be like a good long-term objective. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, brother. And I wish you good luck. Keep me posted on how your progress goes. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Black man. So, all right. Okay. Alan, I'm about to bring you in, my friend. And there we go. How you doing, brother?
Hey, wonderful, wonderful. Good morning, doctor. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, very well. You know I'm gonna give you shit about that cigarette, right?
I thought I could put it down before you seen it.
Oh man, don't. Hey, look, I won't make fun of you for smoking if you won't make fun of me if you catch me in line at Burger King.
Well, I got that problem too, because it seems like every time my elbow bends, my mouth opens as well.
Oh yeah, brother. I shoot, man. I don't shame me. I won't shame you. What city are you in?
I'm in Rock Island, Illinois, Quad Cities, about 2.5 hours west of Chicago.
Yeah, I know Rock Island. I think I spoke there one time. Yeah, I remember. Nice area. Nice area.
Well, brother, I had a 2-part question for you. As far as your net worth, how much do you use for an investment? And I understand it has to be in several money-making vehicles. And what percentages would you put in those multi-making vehicles?
Well, that's a complicated question in the sense that it's kind of personal. But the way I would look at it is that I think that there are 3 major areas of wealth. There's real estate, stocks and bonds, and then there's businesses like entrepreneurship,
right?
Owning a piece of a business, even if you're not running the business, just owning a piece of the business, something like that. And so I think kind of having something at play in each of those 3 areas is kind of a good benchmark to kind of go toward. In terms of like how much of the net worth should be invested in active assets, I would say the majority of it, well, a lot of your net worth might be, just things you own, your car and stuff like that. But those are depreciating assets. But appreciating assets, I think a basic way to start would be, number one, try to be a homeowner. That's one asset you have that's going to grow in value, where you're making money by not even doing any work. You know, that's what,
Absolutely.
right. And then, you know, being active in the stock market. Everybody who watches me, everybody who's watching me right now, I really, really want you all to just commit today to saying, I will be a stock market investor by the end of the day. I don't care if you invest in $5. Everybody in here got $5. If you ain't got $5, email me. I'll find a way to send you $5.
Yeah.
So
Well, I like your idea on how to do stocks as well, because that's one thing I did pick up from you. No matter what the stock is, hang on to it.
yeah, well, you know, yeah. I mean, you know, you can't. It's okay to sell sometimes, but you know, I think just getting in the habit of saying I own this thing and it's just mine, and that's it. I'm not gonna do anything with it. You know, it's almost like football. Like I was watching Thursday night football with Cam Newton and against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and sometimes you see a quarterback in the pocket. And there was one play where Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback for the Steelers, got back in the pocket, and his protection was good, so he just stood there. He stood there waiting for a receiver to get open, and he threw the ball 50 yards down the field. You know, but then you got some quarterbacks, they get in the pocket, and they're so scared of getting sacked, their feet are moving, and they can't concentrate. Right. They can't make the play because they're so worried about getting sacked, and they're running around. Sometimes you just gotta chill, just sit there, right?
Right.
So, sometimes with investing, it ain't about like, okay, I bought it, got to sell it, got to buy it, got to sell it, got to make a move, got to make a move. No, sometimes you just buy something, you just own it. It's just yours. You know, like that, you know, old clock sitting in your living room that's been sitting there for 20 years. You ain't even pay no attention to it. You know,
right? Yeah, because I was looking at it more just to be able to pass on for my family.
You can pass it on, or it's just there in case you run into a financial situation. Maybe you got to borrow against it, or maybe you even have to sell it at some point for some reason, or maybe you sell it so you can invest in something else. But everybody should have like capital, and capital is something that you never like spend at the mall. You know what I mean? You never spend it so you can go on vacation or to buy a new car. Capital is simply almost like your chess pieces on a chessboard, like you're moving your wealth or move your money around. Like, so for example, if I see a good business deal, somebody reached out to me about getting into the hair business. I've always wanted to own some things in the hair business. So when you get the capital to invest in the hair business, I said, okay, great. I'll sell some of my stock and move that capital over and put it into the hair business. Do you see what I mean? And that's just, it's very empowering, and you know, because that's what you want to do. You want, when they say make money moves, that's what money moves really look like, you know. So if I were you, I think in terms of, you know, how you move your net worth, just start with those basics. You know, make sure you're in the stock market on some level, even on the basic level. Look into real estate. If you don't know how to buy a home but get your first property, they got classes on it. TheBlackRealEstateSchool.com. Andre Hatchett, he teaches it. We teach it in the Black Business. Jay Morrison, a lot of people teach it. And then that third area, entrepreneurship. Everybody who's not an entrepreneur should be a wantrepreneur. A wantrepreneur is somebody who's just looking around, learning the basic skills of what it takes to start a business. Like I had a friend, she's actually watching right now. She knows who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say her name. But she said one time she lost her job and she didn't have any money. And she said that basically she saw that on these movie sets that they would need breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So she went up to one of the directors or one of the people on the set and said, I can bring your whole crew breakfast and it'll cost you $150. And they were like, okay, great. And they gave her the money and she went and made breakfast for everybody. And that was like her business. So she was being an entrepreneur, but it wasn't like she went to business school or was thinking, okay, I'm going to be an entrepreneur now. She's like, I'm gonna go hustle up some money, you know, by spotting an opportunity. That's what an entrepreneur kind of does. It's those instincts. You spot an opportunity, you hustle up some money, and that's it. So I would look into those three areas and kind of make that lifelong study where you always learn a little bit more. So you learn how to just spot the opportunities, and then that way, when the opportunities emerge, you'll know how to go out and grab them.
Okay, because I didn't really want to get involved in any franchises because I did look into several franchises and I did not want to be stuck into those things.
Yeah, franchises, you know, there's so many of them out there. And I'll tell you, if somebody's real interested in digging deep into that, I know in the Black Business School, we have the Black Franchise Program where we've got an attorney, Tanya Nebo, who's really good, really experienced in it, who can teach you all the ins and outs of buying a franchise. Franchises are, you know, sometimes they work for some people, sometimes they don't work for others, but there's thousands of them, you know, so one might be bad, another one might be good. And she's just good at kind of explaining the ins and outs. And a lot of people make a lot of money with franchises. It's a great way to go into business if you don't have an idea. Because
I have one more quick question for you. Do you recommend the Chapter S Corporation?
Do I recommend the S? I mean, I think LLC. I'm by default, unless there's a specific reason you go for something different. That's what I would look at. So I would kind of start with something that is basic, and then if you need to be more advanced, the question is like why, right? S corporation is a little more advanced than the LLC. If you want, I'll tell you, attorney Nicole Compton every week, she knows all of this stuff in extreme detail. Every week she's in the Black Business School answering questions, and she's a damn startup specialist. She's a lawyer. Her program is blackmoney103.com. It's the third course in our Black Money sequence. It's blackmoney103.com. And the first month is actually free if you want to give it a try for 30 days, see if you like it. But she is good. I mean, anybody who learns from her, just you walk away feeling like, okay, I'm not scared anymore. There's no questions I can't answer because I got this sister girl who knows the law, who is telling me which documents to fill out, what not to do, all that. So I think having a guide is kind of how you go into new territory. You see what I mean?
Okay.
I don't recommend going into new territory without a guide, because then you're going to pay a very high cost of learning, because you're going to learn through major financial mistakes, as opposed to learning because somebody just says, well, don't do that. Here's why. You see what I mean?
All
right.
Okay.
It was good talking to you, brother. And,
all right. No,
yeah,
I look at your shows all the time. I remember one night I caught you late in the evening. You was online with Damon Dash. That was great.
Good old Damon Dash. There's only one Damon Dash. Before him, there were none. After him, there will be no more.
No, you got that right. All right, brother. Well, I got somebody that has to go outside anyway. I do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, man. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So, you know what? Let me hit the thumbs up button real quick. I got to send a note to somebody in my team who was expecting me to show up for a meeting, but I didn't. I missed the meeting. So let me send the note real quick. Hit the thumbs up button if you're on YouTube. And also, if you want to get text alerts when I go live, you can text the word Boyce to 31996. Just text my name, Boyce, to 31996. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I got about 9 more minutes, and then I got this meeting with my the president of my company and my accountant. Okay, Angela Green, I'm gonna bring you in, and Vincent, I'm bringing you in, and Larone, I'm gonna bring you in. So what I'm gonna do is just talk to you one at a time, and if we can answer our questions quickly, that would be great. And that way we can get through as many questions as possible. So again, if you wanted to, if you really want to be an entrepreneur, I really think it's worth it to invest in your education. I'm not talking about $100,000 going to a university or to the other type of university. Black Money 103, literally the cost is literally $3 a day, and the first month is free. So we make it as low cost as possible, and we bring you the best experts we can find. Attorney Nicole Compton has 20 years of experience as a lawyer and as a business owner. She started her law firm with a $500 credit card. She has been practicing law for many years. She has helped hundreds and hundreds of people. She answers questions every week. She's extremely dedicated, and you get a degree certificate once you're done with the program, once you watched all the videos. So go to blackmoney103.com, sign up, and she'll tell you everything you need to know. You could just go and do it by yourself, but if you do that, you're gonna be like me. You're gonna spend tens of thousands of dollars making mistakes, when it's best to go into new territory with a guide, because the guide can help you get over your fear and any information you don't have. So feel free to give it a try. All right. So Vincent, how you doing today, man?
Everything good, Doc. How you doing?
Doing good, brother. So where you at? What city you in?
I in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania right now.
Oh, so you got the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania accent.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. I'm a transplant. I've been living in the States for a while, and I got a big project that I'm working on. I'm also an artist, so you talked about the distraction thing, but I got like several projects going on. Like I said earlier, I looking at your videos for a couple of months. I just opened a creativity board on Facebook, and I'm doing something as I've rebranded myself as the Caribbean Mad Hatter. And you have my email because I've been studying it, how you track people with email and everything. And I'd like to talk to you and see if we could get together and form like a group called the Caribbean Mad Hatter Group. Everything we do and sell, we donate 3% of the profits to the Caribbean. So when a hurricane or different catastrophic things happen, we could take care of ourselves. We don't have to wait for them to send ships, supplies, food, water, ice, something as simple as ice. People don't know how delicate that could be. The lines will be miles just for ice, not even gas. So since the last two hurricanes, I've been feverishly drawing pictures to make my own brand and sell these products. So I want to share one of them to you to show that I'm serious. This one is the light above the bridge. So one of us got to shine a light to make something happen, and nobody ain't shining a light. So there's many people in different places shining a light, but I want to bring all of them together so we could shine a light that they can't deny this light.
Right. Okay. Well, you know what I can do for you for sure is when your group is set up, you know, if you have a way that people can support and be a part of it or check out your art, I'll be happy to share that. You know, I know you're part of the League of Intelligent Black People, so as kind of a give back to you, and this goes for anybody that's in the organization. I will mention your website like in my podcast and tell people to go check it out, you know, and everybody who's in here, I hope that you'll also support, you know, the businesses that we bring up in here, because that's how you build an economy. We support each other. So I can certainly do that. As far as, you know, going beyond it, as far as like meetings and stuff like that, I can't really do that because again, time management, I don't really do meetings, honestly, to be real with you, brother. I don't do very many meetings, but I'm meeting with you now, and I give you my word. If you come back in and you give me that link, then I will share that with you. Do you have something you want to tell people now where they can go to support you?
No, I don't have nothing to support. Like I said, I'm just a dreamer, and I don't want no time per se, and I don't want this to be about my art. I want it to be mainly about shining the light that if all of us could come together, like that lady said earlier about the political party and stuff, if all of us come together, the light that we could shine will be so bright that there won't be no denying the will and the power of unity. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just, whatever I produce, 3% go to the Caribbean. Caribbean Mad Hatter is what I'm going to be going under. So you're going to see me again, Doc. You're going to see me again. All right.
All right, man. We'll keep dreaming. And then after you wake up from the dream, I need you to go build some shit. So you build some shit, you bring it back, you tell me, and I'm going to promote you. You got it?
I hear you. I hear you. A dreamer's dream comes true when nobody's looking. So don't blink. You might be.
All right. Well, I won't blink. I'm going to be waiting. My eyes will be open. I ain't no blinking. So you better let me know because my eyes going to get dry. See you later, brother. Good to meet you, Vincent.
Good to meet you as well, brother.
All right. Okay. So I got time. I'm going to bring in Angela, and then I got to, well, actually, you know what? I got to run this meeting with my accountant right now. So Angela, I'm gonna try to see if I can bring you and see if you're here. And everybody who's in here, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button real quick, please. And also, if you want to check out the Black Keys to Greatness program that we talked about, it's blackkeystogreatness.com. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. Dion, your question is long, and that's one that's probably best for our experts in the Black Business School. So if you are looking to build something business-wise, I recommend going to blackmoney103.com. That's where attorney Nicole Compton, who is our startup expert, answers a million complicated questions like that a day. So, and again, the program's $3 a day. So if you're paying thousands of dollars to attend the university, drop that and take literally 1/100th of that money and put it toward the Black Business School, and we will educate you better. So literally, you know, I think it's okay to actually walk away from the bad investment and go toward the good one. So Angela, how are you today?
Morning, finding yourself.
I'm doing very well, very well. What city are you in?
I'm in Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, Memphis. I love Memphis. My assistant lives
Yeah.
in Memphis.
Yeah, I think I heard of that. So I'm not
Yes.
going to keep you long because I know you said you had to get away, and I'm multitasking myself. I'm an attorney here, and I
Oh.
know, remember you asking or mentioning how it's important that Blacks control the industries of which they excel in. And
Hmm.
I practiced entertainment law up until a couple of years ago, and now I do music business consulting. And I was wondering, had you ever considered adding a music business consultant to that attorney school that you just started?
Um, you know what? We have attorneys that come in with Attorney Compton as guest speakers, and that's usually a good place to start, just to see how the students respond. If the students like it and the students want a program on that, we pretty much create what they are interested in and what they'll support, right? So
Right.
if the students say, "Hey, we'd love that," and it's not just saying we'd love it, they have to be willing to make an investment in it. Then we go create it, right? So
Right.
what I would say you should do is shoot an email. What is, oh, shoot. I had Nicole's email address. Email assistant at boycewatkins.com. Assistant at boycewatkins.com. Tell her that we talked and tell her to put you in touch with attorney Nicole Compton, who is the dean of our law school which is part of the Black Business School. In case you guys don't know, we do have a law school in the Black Business School. It's a law school for citizens, for non-lawyers, for people that want to know the law, how lawsuits work, how to file, how to, deal with everything from police brutality to business law. And so I'd like for you to know Nicole and talk to her about what you just talked to me about, because one of the things that I know for a fact is that in our community, we have all the experts that we need. We have so many Black experts that are working for these companies and organizations or these law firms. I knew this brilliant lawyer who worked for a law firm, and she said, there are 400 lawyers here and only 2 of us are Black. And she
Right.
was dying to get out. So our goal is to try to create spaces and platforms where they can get out and really do what they really want to do. Like, I think it's great when I meet Black attorneys that really want to help Black people, and you got all this expertise, and you're talking to a room full of people that don't look like you. And you're like, gosh, if Black people knew this stuff, everybody goes there. I'm sure you felt that too, Angela, right? So that's what we try to do is reach out to those people, because we can reach a lot of people, through the platform, and say, come on home, come on in, and we'll put some money in your pocket. We'll put you in front of people. Well, and the great thing about it too is that when you're in front of this many people, you get recognized as being excellent in your field. Like Demario Solomon Simmons is now really widely recognized as one of the great Black attorneys in America, because he's been seen by a couple million Black people through the platform. So it's kind of like a double whammy. We help them make money, but also we help them to achieve the goal, which is most people that are professionals, they want money and they want fame or respect for their work, quality work. Not so much fame, but just, like a lot of lawyers I know would love to be like the next Johnny Cochran or whatever it is, right? So basically, that's kind of what I think we're able to do uniquely, which makes me very excited, because a lot of the people that we love are the people that they might hate, you know, like for example, we love Maxine Waters, they hate Maxine Waters. We love Cynthia McKinley, they hate Cynthia McKinley. So my thought is, we love Marcus Garvey, they hate Marcus Garvey, right? So my thought is, why don't we have spaces where the Marcuses and the Cynthias and whomever can come into those spaces, be who they're going to be themselves, teach in the way they want to teach, and get the respect that they deserve.
Right.
So Angela, I would like to bring you in and have you talk to the students. So send that email to my assistant, and she'll make that happen.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
All right, Angela. God bless you, sister. Thank you so much for calling in.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna have to run. So if you want to take a look at some of the programs in the Black Business School, obviously it's theblackbusinessschool.com. That's where the school is actually located. But then if you want to learn about stock market investing, all that stuff, everything from stock market investing to entrepreneurship to time management and goal setting, all that. We've got programs in all these different areas. In fact, we have a whole Black Money sequence, 101 through 106. 101 starts with an introduction to the power of money. 102 is stock market investing. 103 is how to start a strong Black business. 104 is how to buy a franchise. Lots of families are buying franchises, and that's how they're getting off the plantation. 105 is real estate, taught by Dr. Venetia Dutra, who's one of the few Black women in the world with a PhD in finance. 106 is taught by Dr. Shauna Etienne, who teaches business processes and structures and organizational development. That's one of the great needs that we have in our community is we need to be able to build institutions. Our number one issue is that a lot of our institutions were killed during integration. And when your institutions die, your community kind of dies, and you don't have a home anymore. You're kind of running from one institution to the next, begging for them to let you in. Whereas we believe that the mandate for this generation is to teach our children to develop institutions and develop their own systems outside of the prevailing system. So that's why 106 is an important program. So feel free to go check it all out. And actually, literally the URLs to look at each of the programs are literally blackmoney101.com, blackmoney102.com, all the way up to 106. So you can take a look at all of that. And, anyway, if I didn't get a chance to get to your questions, I see Andrea and Angela and Arlene and a few other people. If you did not get a chance to ask your questions for today, just know I'll be reaching out to you guys again soon. If you want to join our League of Intelligent Black People, you can go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. You guys have a great day. I'm going to run to this meeting, and I will see you soon. Be good.